As someone who has lost 100 pounds and has kept it off or maintained a healthy weight for the past 20 years, someone who has also fluctuated in weight and had to lose weight again just recently, which I think is normal for anyone who's lost weight, especially if you were obese before, as far as weight fluctuations go. But anyway, these are some of my top, I guess, harsh truths about weight loss. So listen up if you are in your weight loss journey right now or just about to start. So the first harsh truth that I need you to understand, especially if you are just starting, is that, you know what? Sometimes weight loss is boring. Sometimes being fit is boring. Like, you're not always going to be able to do whatever it is that you want to do all the time. You're not going to always be able to eat whatever you want to eat all the time. Anything in life, any kind of goal takes sacrifice, and weight loss is no different. I think especially when you are in the thick of it and maybe are just starting, really, like, it's even more boring because you're not used to this new lifestyle yet. Like, if you are someone who's trying to lose weight, that means you're not going to go out partying, staying out till late, drinking, because then you're going to wake up and you're not going to want to go do your workout because you feel awful. Or you're going to go to, happy hour, and you say you're just going to have one drink, but you're not. You're going to have 5, and then you're going to eat the French fries and the guacamole, whatever's at the table. Like, again, if you have a goal to lose weight, to get fit, sometimes that means you're going to have to turn down party invitations, either because you are not strong enough yet to go to a place and not overeat, or because it interferes with your fitness schedule. Like, if someone invites you to a 6 p.m. dinner or happy hour, but you have a 6 p.m. cycling class, you have to decide which one is more important. And I get it. Like, sometimes it's not fun. Like, you might miss a little bit of your social life. You are doing things that you might not enjoy now, but you're doing it because you want the reward later. And let me tell you, the reward is so much better than getting drunk at a bar after work. It's so much better than going to the candy aisle and picking up a Snickers bar every time you go to the grocery store. I know right now it doesn't feel like it's a lot of fun, but I also promise you that the more you get used to your lifestyle, those things like getting drunk all the time or eating out all the time, they become less fun, and you actually start to like your new active lifestyle better. You prefer to do more active activities, and you prefer to hang out with people who are more like-minded. You don't mind having to cook your meals at home. You don't mind skipping past the candy aisle because you don't even think about it. And also, that being said, doesn't mean you can never go to another party again or never have a candy bar again. It's just when you are in the process of losing weight and changing your habits, it's going to feel tougher. Like, you have to realize, like, even now during maintenance phase, you can do those things. You can overeat sometimes, you can indulge, you can, drink, whatever, but you're not going to be doing them probably as often as you are now. Second thing, I don't know, it's really a harsh truth, but it's just something that I find for me personally. Sometimes setting a goal other than just your weight loss goal, other than just trying to look good, will help you stay more consistent than just chasing after a number on the scale. Like, I think that's fine to have that like in the back of your mind or have that be your ultimate goal. Like, I definitely had that. Like, I knew I wanted to lose 100 pounds, but I also knew I wanted to be a runner, and I knew I just wanted to, it was just really important for me when I was losing 100 pounds. I wanted to be fit. I wanted to be a runner. And so I always had that goal at the gym. It was, okay, like, can I run for, I couldn't even run for 30 seconds at a time, right? At first. And then I just built up to it. I remember the first time I ran like 10 minutes by myself, or I'm sorry, like on my own all at one time. And it was like, wow, it was the best feeling in the world. Never been able to do that before. Fast forward a few years later, I'd be running marathons. But I think just having, like I said, a goal that is something that is not just chasing that certain body type or chasing that certain weight, it just gives you, it's more, I think, stimulating for your mind, and it takes the pressure off of kind of like, okay, I said I would lose 10 pounds this month and I only lost 5 pounds. Oh, I'm a failure. And then it just leads to a binging spree, right? Like, that's at least how I've found it works for me. So having some other kind of goal to work towards that aligns with your fitness, I think, at least me personally, it helps you be more successful and stay more motivated. The third harsh truth, it's always calories in versus calories out. I'm going to die on this hill. I don't care how many people want to fight me in the comments. It's always calories in versus calories out. If you are not losing weight, somewhere along the way, you are getting too many calories. If you are not gaining weight, it's because you're not eating enough calories. And I don't care what kind of workouts you do. I don't care if you do OMAD and you don't eat for 8 hours and then only have one meal a day. If you are not losing weight, you're still getting too many calories. It's always going to come down to calories in versus calories out. I mean, working out is amazing. I love it. Exercise is great. I think we should all do it. It's great for our bodies. It's great for maintenance. But honestly, the biggest thing is diet. And I know for a fact, because just a few years ago, I was training for a half marathon, running an average 6 to 10 to 12 miles a day. I didn't lose a pound. In fact, I probably gained more weight because I was eating like crap. So don't think because you ran 6 miles today. That means that you can eat whatever you want today. Not if you're trying to lose weight. Weight maintenance is different, but if you're trying to lose weight, it's not going to cut it. Next harsh truth. Sometimes being in a calorie deficit means you're going to be a little bit hungry. It is what it is. You're going to have to be a little bit uncomfortable. No, I don't mean you should be starving. That's not the greatest way to go about it. If you undereat, then that will probably only lead to you gaining more weight because there's only so long you can keep that up. But being in a slight calorie deficit, even if it's only a couple hundred calories, sometimes, you're going to feel it. You're going to be hungry. It's going to be a little uncomfortable, but that's where your discipline kicks in. That's where you grow stronger, because that's, again, where you have to sacrifice what you want now and your own desires for what you want later. And I think the sooner you realize, or the sooner you accept that this is going to be hard, that it's not going to be comfortable, I think that's actually when it gets easier. Okay, next harsh truth. Not everyone will take you seriously when you decide to lose weight. Not everyone is going to believe in you. Not everyone will understand why you're doing what you're doing. Not everyone is going to understand why you want to be thin. They're not going to understand why you want to be fit. They're not going to understand why you would skip out on a party or a social engagement because you want to go to the gym instead, or you don't want to be tempted by, your grandma's apple pie or something. They're just not going to get it. Some people might even feel some kind of way about you changing your habits, right? They're going to think, oh, like she thinks she's better than us. Or they're going to think, you're petty or silly because you won't have even one bite of your grandma's apple pie. Some people might even be a little bit jealous of you and try to sabotage you. It's a very strange phenomenon, but I've dealt with it before. And I know so many of you have told me you've had similar things happen to you. And it is just the truth. I think whenever you start doing something different, whenever you do any kind of self-improvement, some people act really weird about it. So I think that's something to remember if you experience it. Just learn to realize that you might not get any praise for your efforts. Learn to congratulate yourself, because sometimes you won't always have that support. Sixth harsh truth. When you cheat, you're only cheating on yourself. You're only hurting yourself. You're only sabotaging your own efforts. You might do some kind of bargaining in your own mind. Well, okay, I'll eat this big slice of chocolate cake, but then I'll go for a really long run tomorrow, or, oh, but I'll have the chocolate cake, but then I'll eat this salad later. Honestly, yes, sometimes that works, particularly during weight maintenance. But if you are trying to lose weight, then I've never found that to be true, that it doesn't work. What I mean is weight loss is very specific. You have to be in a calorie deficit every single day for the weight to come off. If you do something like eat a big piece of chocolate cake, but then go for a run afterwards, that's awesome, but you'll probably still be in your calorie equilibrium. You're just gonna be at your calorie maintenance. So yeah, while you might not gain weight, you're not going to lose it either. So ultimately, you have to think of every decision you make as okay, is this decision moving me towards my goals, or is it setting me back? And ultimately, anything that's not moving you towards your goals, even if it's keeping you at a standstill, that's still setting you back because you're still not closer to where you want to be. Number 7. Okay, that being said, follow up to previous harsh truth. You're not always going to be perfect. Okay, you're not always going to be perfect. And I don't want you to feel like you can never make a mistake. You can never have a bad day during your weight loss, because that's just the reality. It's we're all human. And some days, you're going to come home, you're going to be tired, you're going to be frustrated, and there's going to be some leftover pizza in there, and you're going to eat all of it. And then you're going to go to the freezer and you're going to get the half pint of chocolate chip ice cream that's in there. You're going to eat all of that. And then you might even go for a bag of chips later while you're watching your TV shows. It happens. I'm not saying it's something that I condone or that you should condone or accept of yourself. You should actively be working on trying to fix your bad habits. You're trying to deal with your emotions and stress in another way. But again, sometimes it happens. And I think that instead of beating yourself up about it so much, that actually the quicker you forgive yourself, the better off you are. Because sometimes what happens, and this has happened to me many times before, is I'll have a binge or something, and then I'll just feel awful and I'll feel all kinds of regret. And it goes down this spiral of bad, negative thinking, right? Which ultimately many times leads to you binging again. So my advice, hey, binge happens, cheat day happens, you mess up, whatever. Honestly, just get over it. Give yourself a good scolding and then just get back on track. Be like, okay, well, we messed up yesterday, but we're not going to let it happen in the future. We're going to put some different measures in place to ensure that it doesn't happen. We're going to work out a little harder this week. We're going to be even more careful with our diet. Recognize that you're human and that you will make mistakes. There's no need to, keep beating yourself up about it, but also hold yourself accountable. Number 8. This is not really a harsh truth, but actually probably more of a positive truth, is that the longer you stick to healthy habits, the more effort you put in the beginning to, create healthy habits, to fix your relationship with food, to put measures in place so that you don't end up binge eating, like only keeping certain things in your fridge and pantry, holding yourself accountable to your workout schedule, making sure you always get those workouts in. At first, it feels like hard work, but I promise you, the longer you do them, the less work it is, because the more it becomes habit, the less discipline you actually have to do it, because now it doesn't really feel like discipline. It's just how you live. It's your lifestyle now. It's not a big deal that, okay, you go work out at the gym 3 days a week. You don't have to force yourself to get up every morning. You'll just go because you probably actually like working out now. Same thing with eating healthy. Like, I promise you, there will come a day where you will walk past all the junk food aisles in the grocery store and not even miss it. Again, it's just not part of your routine anymore, because it's just not who you are anymore. And the longer you stay away from the addictive junk food, the less you crave it, and also the easier it becomes to say no to it, even when people do offer it to you. Again, same goes with fitness. The longer you work out, the longer that you get used to, okay, being active, the more you want to do it. And again, the less work it is. Number 9, if you really wanted it, you do it. Meaning you are the only one in the way of you not losing weight. You are the only one in the way of not reaching your goals. Once you just come to terms with the reality that you are actually the only person in control of your reality, you are the only one in control of your life, that's when the changes start happening. It's realizing that you are the only one stopping yourself. I don't care what kind of excuses you have. I mean, look, I know we all have different circumstances. I'm not saying that they're not good excuses. I'm not saying that, yeah, you might have had it harder than me, okay? Yeah, look, I understand. Like, I was 14 years old and I didn't have a job. I didn't have kids. Maybe you are in some really tough circumstances right now. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I'm sorry, but it doesn't matter. Like, we all have different circumstances. We all have certain challenges. It might take you longer to reach your goals. It might mean that you have to work harder than me or anyone else, but you still have to do the work. It's only you that can decide to do the work. It's only you. No one else can do it for you, and no one else is coming to save you. So you either find a way to overcome the challenges in your life to get to the goal, okay? Or you don't. I don't know what else to say. But ultimately, it is still you. You are the only reason that you are fat. You are the only reason that you are not where you want to be right now. So stop blaming others, stop blaming other circumstances, take accountability for your life and your decisions starting now, and then change. Number 10, cardio is amazing. I love cardio. I love running. I love walking, but weights is what shapes your body. And I can say this from years of being a runner and being a cardiophile, pretty much only doing cardio. I have noticed the most change in my body since lifting weights. And I'm not saying, look, everyone has to be a bodybuilder, even do CrossFit kind of stuff, but adding in some kind of resistance training, that is what I think shapes your body. Cardio is amazing for weight maintenance. And I still love it. I still do it, but I don't think it's going to give you the shape that you want. So I would suggest right now to start getting used to doing some kind of resistance training or weight training. My advice. Number 11, it's never too late to start, but waiting one more day could be too late. The best time to start was 10 years ago, but the second best time to start is now. So basically what I'm trying to say is start now. Start wherever you are, whatever age you're at, with whatever circumstances you have. There's always something you can do right now to move you forwards. And I promise you, start right now, because 10 years goes by really quickly, and you're only going to be kicking yourself in the butt for not starting sooner. And I can say that from personal experience. I mean, yes, I was a kid when I lost the weight, but even at 14, I wish I had done what I did a few years earlier. I would have been much farther along. I mean, I can say that with a lot of different things in my life. I wish I'd started sooner. I think that's always going to be the case. I think as soon as you realize there is no time but the present, you realize how little time we actually have on this earth. And I think it's especially important to remember that if look, maybe you are really unhealthy and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll get in shape one day. Okay, yeah, maybe tomorrow. But then tomorrow you wake up and you're not feeling right and you find out, oh, you got diabetes or you had a heart attack. So that's what I mean. And that it's never too late to start, but hell, waiting one more day could be too late. I don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. And maybe you get hit by a bus or something, right? And then, I guess you'll be dead, so you won't really know the difference. But if you were alive and able to look back on it, you'd be like, well, shit. I spent, 30, 40 of my years being fat, and then I died and got hit by a train or something. I wish I had at least had a life that I enjoyed, a life where I felt fit, a life where I felt like I was my ideal self. So whether you are 15 right now, whether you're 25, whether you're 35, 45, 55, start now. Start now, because you're only going to regret it later if you don't. The longer you go right now, being unhealthy, being in a body you don't want, being in a life you don't want, the more you're going to regret the life you could have had. Finally, never give up. You cannot lose if you never give up. And I know, because I know some of you have told me, look, I have tried a million times and I will lose the weight, but then I'll gain it, or I just always fall off. It gets disheartening. I know. It's not an easy process, but you have to keep trying. Because you have to fall down 99 times, get up 100, right? That's like the famous quote. But it is so true, because you don't know if, okay, you give up now, maybe that next time you tried would have been the time you were successful. You always have to give it one more try. You always have to persist. That is the only thing you can do. Always try something new. Always try again. Always keep that faith, because your dreams are possible. It is possible for you to lose this weight, for you to be happy, but only if you try. If you give up, then you will never know, and you will always live with the pain of regret of never knowing. And look, I can say, like I told you guys about my recent weight loss, right? I mean, I told you in one of my videos, like I had been saying I was going to lose that weight for almost 12, 15 years. Because like I said, like in my early 20s, like I got too thin, then I gained weight back, which I needed to, but I gained too much weight back. And I was like in the 140s, and when I was in New York trying to be a model, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll lose the weight. Long story short, I never did. And it wasn't until like my early 30s. Was it like 30? Yeah, 30, 31, when I started this 40-pound weight loss journey, because I got up to, 160, which was my highest since 230 pounds. And like I said, for 10, 12 something years, I kept saying, oh yeah, I'm going to do it. Oh, I'll get back on it. And I'd go, do something for a week, but then I would get distracted. I was, long story short, I was partying too much and got into unhealthy behaviors. But the point is, I failed a million times. Okay. Even when I decided to actually start losing weight, I still had some bad habits I had to kick that were keeping me stuck. It took me a lot longer than it should have, but whatever. The point is, I did finally do it. Okay. 34 years old. And I feel like I look and feel better than I ever have before, but it's because I didn't give up. And again, you might have thought I was crazy. 10, 15 years of saying, oh, I'm going to lose the weight. If I had told anyone, they'd be like, yeah, okay, it's been 10, 15 years. Like, it's your body's not changing. Like, just accept where you are, accept it. But I couldn't accept it. I couldn't, and I didn't accept it. But again, had I just given up, even just a few years ago when I was trying and I was like, oh, it wasn't happening the way I wanted to. If I had given up, I wouldn't be where I am now. So that's what I mean. Don't give up. I don't care. It might take you a year. It might take you 15 years. But if you never give up, then you can't lose. That is the reality. All right, guys, that's all I have for you today. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, then please like this video and subscribe to my channel or podcast for more content like this. Also, be sure to check out my book, 1 Year, 100 Pounds. It is the story of my weight loss, but it is also a tough love guide for how you can lose weight too. It is written for a younger audience. I was 18 when I wrote the book, but honestly, I think the information and the motivational kind of pep talks can be for anyone of any age. So if you want to check that out, I will leave the link below in the description. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you guys next time.